What's up, guys? We're back with a full slate of NBA action here on Thursday, February 20th. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure to check that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there's any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. Yesterday, guys, off to an interesting start. We're 1-1 on the night. Kind of a tale of two games here. We had SMU minus 1.5. It looked like they were going to double up Notre Dame there for a little bit. They won the first half 50-25, so that was an easy win. They skate to an easy win and cover, but we had NC State plus 11.5, and they came out completely flat in the first half. They lost the first half 26-54, and they weren't able to make any sort of insane comeback. So we're off to a 1-1 start. We've still got Alabama, we've still got St. John's to go, so we'll see what happens down the stretch, but still a chance to be a really good day, still a chance to be a pretty mediocre day. So we'll see what goes on there, guys. No big action really in the NCAA basketball streets for Thursday, so we're just going to concentrate on the NBA for this one. We'll be back Friday and Saturday with some college basketball action for you. If you want to win all of your bets today, hit that like button. It's good luck. Show support for the channel, and if we get to 1,000 likes on this video, we are going to give away another free hoodie. And also, guys, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. It's a great way to show support for the channel, and it's completely free. You can also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all of my videos. They get their names up on screen just like right now, and I've got it figured out, guys. I will be running a members only giveaway on the next video. I'll have the little thing going. So make sure if you're interested in signing up for a channel membership, you do that before, the next video would be recorded. So you're gonna want to do it sometime before, 8 to midnight tomorrow. So yeah, something like that. Get in there if you're interested. We have like around 62 members. So your odds, not terrible. You've actually got a realistic shot of winning a free hoodie in that one. So all the giveaway stuff out of the way, guys. You definitely want to get over to stumpthespread.com. All of our videos are sponsored by them. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, covering NBA, college basketball, UFC, NHL, and we've got Major League Baseball action right around the corner. One of the best times to be signed up, guys. So click the link in the description to head over there and check us out. If you're not sure if you want to sign up for a premium package right now, just sign up for the free email list. You'll get results, updates on our results straight to your inbox, as well as a free pick, pretty much every day. The free pick that got sent out today was already in the video. That doesn't always happen. I would say that doesn't even usually happen, but we did have SMU in that one. And obviously, that was a very easy winner that we were just sending out to everyone for free. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today. We'll give you our best advice on all of them. We're committed to responding to every single comment every day. So let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the night, guys. We got the Memphis Grizzlies going on the road to take on the Indiana Pacers. The Grizzlies come into this game fresh off of a fairly eventful All-Star weekend. They went into the All-Star break kind of on a low, losing there at the Clippers 128-114, but I'm sure they're not too hung up on that. They do have to head out, a road game here right off the bat to go to Indiana to take on the Pacers. So we'll see how they do in that one. Over the course of this season so far, we've seen, very good stuff from Memphis in general. I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. having a fantastic season. Desmond Bane also playing pretty well. The big concern for this squad has been the health or lack thereof of Ja Morant. He's been missing a lot of games with a plethora of different injury concerns. I mean, he's healthy coming into this one, but that would be their big long-term concern here. If you're a Memphis Grizzlies fan, you got to be a little bit worried about, if you buy tickets to a game and it's a couple weeks in advance, you're going to see Ja Morant play or not. It's very up in the air. Memphis currently in second place out there in the West. Really no shot of catching the Thunder, obviously, but they have a chance to fend off the Denver Nuggets and end up in the 2 seed. So they're going to be coming into the back half, or more than half, but the back half is what I'm going to call it, of the season here, with a lot of motivation, I would think. And they're taking on a team that should also be pretty motivated, the Indiana Pacers, who are 30-23 on the season. They went into the All-Star break fresh off a nail-biter of a 4-point win there at the Washington Wizards. So yeah, not exactly a cakewalk. We've loved what we've seen from Pascal Siakam this season in general. Tyrese Halliburton has somewhat righted the ship for this team, but we haven't seen the same kind of just offensive firepower and insane success with a super high pace of play that we saw from Indiana last year, which them having a little bit of a drop off, fairly predictable, not super predictable, but I would say fairly predictable here. They do come into this game fully healthy. They're also a team that could, do some important things here if they could play well in the second half of the season, because right now they've got to hold off the Milwaukee Bucks and the Detroit Pistons, who are each within 2 games of them, if they want to hang on to home court advantage there in the first round of the playoffs. They are, 4.5, 5 games up on the 7th seed, so I don't think they have to worry too much about falling into the play-in, but this is a team that should be highly motivated here in the back half of the season. Like I said, they come into this game fully healthy. They're getting 2 points here at home. We've got a total of 249.5. Memphis 17-10 against the spread on the road. That's very good. They're also 21-6 to the over on the road, which is an NBA best mark to the over on the road. That's a crazy number. Indiana, they're only 10-12-1 against the spread at home. 15-8 to the over at home. So 2 huge over teams. Am I really willing to go on a over 249.5? Like, that's a pretty big number, guys. That's a pretty big number. So I'm not taking that one. I wouldn't blame you if you just wanted to side, kind of blindly here with these trends and take that one. But I'm going to be siding with the Grizzlies here at -2. I think they go on the road and get the win and cover here. They're the much better team. Indiana's done some decent stuff, but that's been out in the West. And while Memphis does tend to struggle against the very, very best teams, like OKC and just like any team that's, one of the elite, 3 or 4 teams in the, in the NBA, they have a hard time. But when they're against these middle of the road teams, they have, had a great time. So give me Memphis on the road in this interesting spot. Moving right along here, guys, we're looking at the Boston Celtics going on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Celtics 39-16 on the season. They had a pretty busy All-Star weekend. We'll see what goes on, in terms of their injury report and stuff like that. They did win 3 in a row headed into the All-Star break. A nice 15-point win there over the Spurs to kind of cap things off. That was a game where the Spurs really struggled shooting the ball. It could have been a lot closer, but that's just not what happened. And, the credit goes to Boston there. It sounds like Jrue Holiday is going to be back, for this Thursday game against the 76ers, or at least that's his plan. Will the doctors have something different to say? I guess it's always possible, but he's not on the injury report, so it looks like he will be back. So going to be the fully healthy Boston Celtics here, which has to feel pretty good for them. The fan base has to be pretty pumped up. They are only in second place out there in the East. They're 5.5 games back of Cleveland. They've got a 2.5 game lead there against the Knicks, a team they've dominated this season. So I don't think they have to worry too much about trying to move up or, worry about having, potentially to move down there in, the Eastern Conference standings. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but I do expect this team to be, pretty motivated here as they head into the second half of the season, as they try, mount a very spirited title defense. Their first test here is going to be going against the Philadelphia 76ers, who are having quite the nightmare season. They had actually lost 5 in a row heading into the All-Star break. They're 20-34 on the year. Their season has just been riddled with injury problems. It does appear that Embiid is going to play in this game. We don't know about Justin Edwards. We don't know about Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon. It's a possibility that all of them miss this game, which, how much do they really move the needle for me? It sounds like Justin Edwards definitely out, so I don't think they move the needle for me too much. Really, this team just has to see Paul George play way better, Maxey continue doing the great work that he's doing, and Embiid play way, way better. So, is that going to happen? Is that even a possibility? Well, they are coming off a big break. This could be, a lot of time off there. So maybe Embiid is close to 100% for a game, but did he really spend the All-Star break getting in shape? That seems like a very, very sketchy idea to me. The 76ers are actually outside of the playoffs right now, looking in. Outside of the play-in even. They are a game and a half back of the Chicago Bulls for the 10 seed. So the 76ers, a lot of work to do, a lot of motivation in this game. They're getting 8 points at home. We've got a total of 224.5. Boston, 13-14-1 against spread on the road. 18-10 to the under on the road. That's an NBA best mark to the under. I know they're like the worst team in the NBA when they're coming off a win, but I'm not really counting that here as they're not coming off an immediate win. They're coming off a win like 2 weeks or a long time ago before the All-Star break. The 76ers are only 9-17-1 against spread at home, 13-13-1 to the over-under at home. Guys, I'm taking the Celtics on the road in this one. I just have no faith here in the 76ers. Embiid's going to play in this game, I guess. How much does that matter? I don't think, the Celtics are going to have a great time guarding him necessarily, but if they shoot the ball even decent in this game, they should win by, 12 to 15 points. They've got the players to make things really tough on Paul George, who's been terrible, and really tough on Tyrese Maxey, who's been great, but I think he'll be in for a rough game in this one. So definitely give me the Celtics on the road in this spot. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. This is a great time to sign up for StumpTheSpread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our top confidence plays on all the major sports. We're currently covering NCAA basketball, the NBA, NHL, UFC, and the NFL. We have a team of professional cappers that work extremely hard putting in the research on these games every day so you don't have to. We make things very easy for you with pick notifications directly to your phone and unit sizes assigned to each play so you can see where our confidence level is on every individual matchup. To test out the service before you buy, join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Just click the link in the description to sign up for a free account. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now guys, back to the games. Next up, guys, we got the Orlando Magic going on the road to take on the Atlanta Hawks. The Orlando Magic might be the most disappointing, decent team in towards the end of the end of the first half of the NBA season, because guys, they got off to a fantastic start. Then they got ravaged by injuries, and all of a sudden the wheels had come off. They're down to 27-29 on the season, which is still good for the 7 seed. They're 2.5 games back of the Detroit Pistons for the 6 seed. So I would say that would be their goal, is to try to overtake one of those teams, get out of the play-in. But yeah, it's been a rough way to go for Orlando. They did get a nice win against the Hornets, headed into the All-Star break. So, stayed locked in. The question here is, when are they going to have Jalen Suggs back? He's still dealing with that quad issue. He is out for this game against the Hawks. So still not going to have him back here despite, all the time off. It's going to be his 10th straight game. He's missed 20 of their last 21 contests. He was limited to the non-contact portions of Wednesday's practice. So yeah, maybe he could come back on Friday against the Grizzlies, but I'm not going to be holding my breath for that whatsoever. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, Orlando is healthy. They've got Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero back, but that really has not necessarily been enough for this team to find success. The offense, the defense is amazing. Defense is fantastic for this Orlando team, but the offense just is not there right now. There's no way around that. The offense isn't there. Cool. Franz and Paolo can, take turns potentially going off for you 30, 35. That's great, but it doesn't matter if you're only going to score 100 points a game. You're not going to win a ton. You're just not going to win a ton. You're going to win some, but you're not going to win a ton, especially against the good teams. The question here is, are they taking on a good team? Because they're going on the road to take on the Atlanta Hawks, who are 26-29 on the season. They come into this one fresh off of, obviously, a kind of busy All-Star break for guys like Trae Young, but a very, very tough, I would say borderline devastating, 149-148 loss there at the Knicks. This Hawks team definitely did not really go out and try to get better at the trade deadline. I don't think there's really any case to be made that they tried to get better, but, they got back usable players for sure. Karis LeVert, definitely a solid piece. Terrence Mann has done some good things in the league. George Niang, I'm not going to freak out about him, but he's a solid role player as well. This team has an okay starting lineup, not elite. They've got an okay bench. I wouldn't say it's super elite, but maybe borderline elite. Trae Young, as always, there on the injury report with his Achilles issue, but he's probable to play in this game. The Hawks, I think, right now are actually designed to tank. I don't know if they're quite bad enough to do that. They're currently in the 8th seed. They're, quite a ways away from, falling completely out of the play-in. So we'll see what happens there. They're also quite a ways from, overtaking the Detroit Pistons for the 6th seed. So I don't think that's in their cards, but, maybe they could finish the season off relatively strong and end up in, a play-in at minimum. So we'll see what goes on there. The Hawks are 1.5-point underdogs at home in this one. We got a total of 222.5. Orlando only 10-19 against spread on the road, 17-12 to the under on the road. Atlanta 11-13 against spread at home, 16-9 to the over at home. This is an interesting spot. Once again, guys, a lot of these are very interesting games here right off the bat. I'm going to be siding slightly here towards the Orlando Magic on the road. I think they're just the better team. I know they're not very good on the road, but I think they're going to be very, very locked in here. I don't think the Hawks are really going to be playing amazing, but this is one that I have a ton of faith in. I really don't want to be on Orlando in a meaningful way until I see Jalen Suggs at, very close to 100% and out there on the floor. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers going on the road to take on the Brooklyn Nets. The Cavs come into this game 44-10 on the season. They won their last 4 in a row heading into the All-Star break. They have a very, very compelling case to be made that they could be the best team in the NBA, or in the Eastern Conference at least. And, they've done some good stuff against the Celtics. Obviously, the last time it didn't go well. They ended up losing that game by 7, but they've done enough to prove to me that they can compete with anyone. And they even made some trades there to try and, shore things up. Bringing in, Hunter, an interesting choice that I think gives them some much needed, depth, which they already had some depth, but it gives them a big wing defender that can, defend a lot of important players that they might need defended when they're playing a team like the Boston Celtics. So that'll be interesting. We do see them, with some injury question marks. Ty Jerome, Isaac Okoro, both on the injury report. Ty Jerome officially questionable for this game. Okoro, he is also listed as questionable. So not a lot of clarity there on those two guys, unfortunately. We're just going to have to kind of fly blind in terms of, what the actual health of the Cavaliers bench is going to be. But I don't think we have to be too worried. That bench has been very good over the course of the season, and I don't think adding Hunter is going to be, a big negative in any sort of fashion. Like I said, they won 4 in a row, 8 of 9 headed into the All-Star break, so this is not a team that's having a ton of problems. And, they've basically, I'm not going to say they've locked up the top seed in the East yet, but they're 5.5 games up on Boston. Like, I don't think they're giving that lead up at all. So they're going on the road to take on the Brooklyn Nets, who are, they're only a game and a half back of the Bulls for the last play-in seed as well. This team definitely designed to tank. We see Bogdanovich having foot surgery, so he's not going to be back this season. They had won 3 in a row in 6 of 7 heading into the All-Star break. So a pretty impressive little run there. It's not like they were beating, great teams. They did win 2 against the Rockets, not the full-strength Rockets, but still winning all those games, looking pretty good. They've got a decent-looking starting lineup. D'Angelo Russell, not personally my favorite player, but he is usable. Keon Johnson, Zaire Williams, Cameron Johnson, and Nick Claxton. Like, that's not a bad starting lineup, guys. It's not a bad starting lineup at all. And they've done some, some pretty good stuff this season. Their last time out, only a 4-point win there against the 76ers, but they played well, up and down the lineup. They, won that game despite shooting only 26% from 3. You're not going to see that every night in the NBA. They really won thanks to dominating the board. So if they can continue to do that, they can beat a lot of teams. But are they going to be able to do that here against the Cleveland Cavaliers? That seems like a pretty big ask, guys. The Nets are 13-point underdogs at home, so getting 13 points. We got a total of 224.5. Cleveland, 16-9 against spread on the road, 18-7 to the over on the road. Brooklyn, 11-15 against spread at home, 17-9 to the under at home. Guys, this is a tough spot, really. My heart tells me to take the Brooklyn Nets getting 13 points here. I just feel like they have what it takes to keep this game close. Obviously, we could see a locked-in Cleveland team coming off of All-Star Weekend, but with so many of their guys taking part in so many things, I kind of feel like this might be a letdown spot for them. So give me the Nets here, getting 13 points. I don't think they win this game. I think they probably lose it by, somewhere in the 5 to 12 point, range. And, that's enough to get the job done for us. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Chicago Bulls going on the road to take on the New York Knicks. The Bulls 22-33 on the season. They're currently, clinging to that last play-in spot out there in the East. We'll see how long that goes on, but this is a team designed to be real freaking bad this season. They lost their last, 4 in a row headed into the All-Star break, lost back-to-back games against the Pistons. Neither one of those games were competitive. Chicago is tanking, guys. They want to be in as good a shape they can be, when draft time rolls around. We'll see what they actually do with any of that, but yeah, it's not looking very happy-go-lucky right now for the Chicago Bulls. When you look at their starting lineup, Josh Giddey, Lonzo Ball, Kobe White, Dosunmu, and Vujicic, that's not a terrible starting lineup. The bench shouldn't be that bad either. They do have some young guys they're trying to work in, trying to get some minutes for, but this team just should not be as bad as they are, and it's been very, very bleak. We've seen guys like Lonzo Ball miss significant time. Kobe White's missed some time this season, so we'll see what they do, see what their real motivation level is like here in the back half of the season, but I don't know, guys. The Bulls just not straight up having a very good time at the moment, and they don't have an easy first game back after the break, guys. They're going on the road to take on the New York Knicks, who come to this game winners of 2 in a row. They won that nail-biter against the Hawks in their last game before the All-Star break, and now after a nice break with, some action for guys like Jalen Brunson and, Karl-Anthony Towns, now they have, a lot of work to do here. This Knicks team, they're currently in the 3 seed. They're probably too far back to, catch up to Boston. They're probably too far ahead of the Pacers to really get caught. So their task, and it can be a difficult one, is to just stay locked in the rest of the way. And when you got Tibbs playing everybody 40 minutes a night, maybe everybody will be locked in, but I would sure think he would want to get to the end of this road, get to the playoffs healthy this time, but we'll see what happens. Tibbs doesn't really, change the way that he goes about business. This team, not very good defensively, kind of the anti-Tibbs in that case, but Jalen Brunson having an insane year, Josh Hart putting up crazy numbers on a nightly basis, so we'll see what they can do here against a Bulls team that's really floundering. The Knicks, 13.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 244.5. The Bulls, 11-14-1 against the spread on the road, 13-13 to the over-under on the road. The Knicks, 14-14-1 against the spread at home, 17-12 to the over at home. Guys, this does not feel amazing, and it could for sure go the other way, and it's not going anywhere near the pin comment, but I think you want to be on the Bulls on the points here. They're fully healthy. You don't see that all the time. I know the Knicks are a great offensive team, but they're a terrible defensive team. I know they play their best players tons, and that helps at times, but I think this is a spot you want to be on the Bulls, who I think will be highly motivated coming into this game. And once again, I'm kind of fading the teams that sent, important pieces to the All-Star game, and I think this is a spot we could maybe fade a slightly tired Brunson and a slightly tired Karl-Anthony Towns. Rolling right along, we've got the LA Clippers going on the road here to take on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Clippers 31-23 in the season. They won their last 3 in a row. 2 of those games were against the Jazz, and those were basically throwaway games, and the last one was very, very close. But hey, they get the win. It goes on the stats as a win. Over the course of the season, the Clippers have been pretty decent, but they've got a dogfight on their hands. They are in the 6th seed out there in the West. They are 2 games back of the Lakers. They are 1 game up on Minnesota and 2 games up on Dallas. So they're going to have to really, really fight if they want to maintain their spot outside of the play-in tournament. And with a veteran group of players, you're really going to want to do that. Every day of rest is going to be very important for these guys down the stretch. Yeah, kind of unfortunate there to see LeBron sit that game out without, giving people enough warning, because somebody like Norman Powell, who definitely deserves it, could have ended up getting to be a actual All-Star. That would have been pretty nice. Kawhi, on the injury report for this game, we'll see if he plays or not. Or no, he officially, he was out for that game against the Jazz. So I would fully expect him to be back for this game. He didn't suffer any sort of injury or any sort of setback, so he should be back for this one. And I would assume the Clippers are going to be at full. Yeah, the Clippers should be at full strength for this game. So it'll be interesting. This has been a good team. Harden's having a good year. Norman Powell's having an insane year. Kawhi is working his way back. Although I'm starting to be a little bit sketched out by what we can actually, what level can we actually expect Kawhi to get to this season, even if he stays healthy the whole way, which is obviously far from being a given. But, this is a pretty good starting lineup, guys. They can defend. They can shoot the ball. They've got a legit big in Zubac. They added Ben Simmons to the mix. We'll see what that does, if anything. They brought in Bogdan Bogdanovic. That should give them an interesting shooter, although he's having a terrible season. So what he will actually be able to generate, it'll be interesting to see. But this Clippers team, definitely a dangerous one. They're going on the road here to take on the Milwaukee Bucks, who come into this game 29-24 on the season. They went into the All-Star break fresh off a shocking 103-101 win there at the Timberwolves in a game which obviously we didn't see everybody play. But the question around the Bucks this season was, A, were they going to do anything in the trade line? And they very much did, trading away Middleton for Kyle Kuzma. And will Giannis be back and be healthy? We're going to see here. It's going to be interesting. I mean, both Dame and Giannis, have been on the injury report quite a bit. Giannis, sat out a few games there leading up to the All-Star break, and he's officially questionable for this game against the Clippers. So we don't even know yet for sure if he's going to play in this game. He went through practice on Wednesday. It sounds like he should probably be back. Yeah, it sounds like he'll be. I mean, went through a full practice, so I would be kind of shocked to see him go through a full practice and then not play. We see Andre Jackson Jr. there on the injury report as well. He's questionable with that wrist issue, and we see Dame on there. That's obviously a very, very big deal. With his hamstring issue, he is also questionable for this game. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait on this one a little bit. I think we're gonna see Dame and Giannis both play in this game. Otherwise, this spread makes 0 sense to me. The Clippers are actually getting 1.5 points on the road here, which is a little bit shocking. We've got a total of 225.5. The Clippers 12-13 against spread on the road, 14-10-1 to the under on the road. Milwaukee 12-13-1 against spread at home, 14-12 to the over at home. Guys, this is a great place to take the Clippers getting 1.5 points. I think there's some chance. I don't think it's a very good chance, but there's some chance we could end up with the Bucks not being at full strength. If they're not, that's obviously a huge deal. But the Clippers have honestly been the better team over the course of the season. Maybe Giannis is rested, regrouped, and he's going to bring it back, come back with a vengeance here. But I think the Clippers are the side you want to be in on in this one, especially when they're in a city that has basically 0 distractions. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Charlotte Hornets going on the road to play the Denver Nuggets. Charlotte actually going to be playing on the second half of back-to-back. They're playing in Los Angeles right now, and now they're going to have to go to Denver. So we'll see what Charlotte's able to do here on back-to-back nights. But this is a team that is designed to be tagging things out right now, and they are doing a pretty good job of it. We'll see who actually ends up playing there against the Lakers. But really, guys, this is another throwaway season for the Hornets. We've seen LaMelo Ball dealing with a ton of injuries. We had the whole weird trade situation between them and the Lakers go on. So this is going to be maybe kind of an awkward game in addition to, just being a kind of tough spot there with the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, their game against the Lakers, not their game against the Nuggets. That's obviously going to be pretty standard. But we'll see what they can do here, see what their motivation level is like playing on back-to-back nights. I do not expect it to be high here. I mean, they're taking on a very good team in the Nuggets, who are coming off of a kind of close 11-point win there against the Blazers. They had actually pretty quietly won 8 games in a row. You don't see that all the time. They'd won 8 games in a row. They've had their struggles this year for sure, but now that they're healthy, things are clicking. We're seeing Jamal Murray look much, much better than he has at different points this season. There's guys on the injury report here, but I expect basically all of them to be ready to go. I'd be a little bit surprised. I mean, Jamal Murray with his knee issue, he is technically probable for this game, so he's going to be out there. Michael Porter Jr. with his hamstring, he's probable, and Aaron Gordon, guys, with his calf is probable as well. So it looks like they're rested, ready to go here, and the odds makers definitely agree. The Nuggets are 14.5-point favorites, and they need to be, winning these games to hold on to that 3 seed and even have a chance to take over the 2 seed. They're only a half game back of Memphis for the 2 seed in the West. They're only 2 games up on Houston and 2.5 games up on the Lakers in their defense of that 3 seed. So a lot to play for these Nuggets, who are at 14.5-point favorites. They're going to be healthy for this game. Charlotte 11-1 against spread on the road, 13-10 to the under on the road. Denver 16-10-1 against spread at home, 18-9 to the over at home. That's an NBA best to the over at home. I could wrap my head around over 227 in this game. That certainly seems reasonable to me, but one of the main reasons I think that's reasonable is I think Denver's going to score like 150 points in this game. They're going to come out making a statement here that the league should be on notice. Charlotte, they're not going to offer hardly any resistance. They are a disaster. So, yeah, go ahead and give me Denver here. Charlotte not going to be playing hard at altitude in the second half of a back-to-back, fresh off of the All-Star break. Coming into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Phoenix Suns going on the road to take on the San Antonio Spurs. The Suns come into this game 26-28 on the season. They had actually lost 6 out of their last 7 games. Yeah, headed into the All-Star break. Things are looking bleak. Kevin Durant and all those trade rumors could have been traded. Apparently didn't want to go back to Golden State because he got so much crap for the first time he went to Golden State. Like, that seems a little bit sus to me. Like, I don't know if that's really the reason why. This team just is not good. I would assume more he doesn't want to deal with being around Draymond Green, which would be my answer to that question for sure. But I don't know. Who knows what his actual reason was. The moral of the story, though, is he's in Phoenix, and this team is terrible right now. I mean, losing against the Rockets and Grizzlies, okay, fine, but you're not beating anyone right now. It looked tough for them to beat the Jazz a few, several days ago. So we'll see what they can do, see if they can turn things around. I mean, with a losing record at the moment, they're currently in the 11th seed in the West. They're a game and a half back of the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings, who currently occupy the 9 and 10 seeds out there in a very, very crowded Western Conference playoff race. So we'll see if they can turn things around. I mean, it's been brutal this season. They don't have a very good situation there at center, in my opinion. Devin Booker's dealt with some injuries and looks completely miserable, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it sounds like he didn't play there against Houston with a lower back contusion, but I fully expect him to be back for this one, now that the All-Star break's over. Kevin Durant coming off an All-Star appearance. Bradley Beal, the most untradeable contract in the NBA by far, not only because he has a huge contract and he's terrible, but for some unknown reason, he was able to hoodoo the Washington Wizards into giving him a no-trade clause. So crazy stuff there for Phoenix. Things are not looking good. They're going on the road to take on a kind of new-look San Antonio Spurs team that's 23-29 on the year. That puts them, in the 12 seeds. This is a very important game for them going up against the Suns if they're trying to make the play-in, but unfortunately for them, we've got some bad news. Wembanyama dealing with an illness. He is doubtful to face the Suns in this game. So that's a big problem here for a team that had lost 3 of 4 heading into the All-Star break. Yeah, no Wembanyama means they're going to be in a bit of a rough way. Although, with the new addition of De'Aaron Fox, maybe he can just take over and just, carry them to a victory. And the odds makers don't seem like they think that's impossible, guys. I mean, Chris Paul, De'Aaron Fox, Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and, Sohan maybe as a starting lineup could be an interesting option. But the Spurs, 2.5-point favorites at home in this one. We've got a total of 230.5. Phoenix, 11-16 against spread on the road, 18-9 to the over on the road. San Antonio, 12-14 against spread at home, 14-12 to the over at home. Guys, this is actually a spot where I think the over has some good value. I like over 230.5 in this game. I think we'll see lots of scoring in this one. Very little defense from either side, which is kind of the MO from at least the Suns. And I mean, how well is a team with De'Aaron Fox and, Chris Paul on it really going to defend? The Suns, maybe they flip a switch. Maybe they get into desperation mode here in the back half of the season and want to turn things around. We'll see if that's the case. I'm not holding my breath, but I'll take the Suns here getting 2.5 points. But I think the better lean in this game is that over. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Los Angeles Lakers going on the road to take on the Portland Trailblazers. The Lakers obviously going to be playing on back-to-back nights here. They're going to have traveled from LA to Portland, so I could very easily see this not being a team that's at full strength. Like, if Luke and LeBron sit out against Charlotte, then I think there's a, obviously I think they'll play against Portland, but if they don't, it's going to be a little bit tough. Like, we don't have confirmed rosters as of yet for this Lakers game. But check that pinned comment throughout the day to see if this game ends up making it in there. But we're expecting the Lakers to be at full strength for one out of those 2 games, but definitely not both, despite coming off of, the All-Star break, which LeBron, didn't even play in the All-Star game, had that sore ankle that just, suddenly popped up about, 3 hours before the game was supposed to start. But whatever. I digress. The Lakers come into this game, 32-20 on the season, so they're looking good to make the playoffs, but with only a 2-game cushion there over the Clippers, they gotta, be paying attention. They could overtake the Houston Rockets and have home court in the first round. That would be a very nice thing for them to end up doing. It's going to be interesting, this brave new world with Luka and LeBron playing together. This, roster looks very, very reasonable. A starting lineup, Luka, Austin Reeves, Hachimura, LeBron, and Jackson Hayes. Looks very, very good, except for that last bit where I said Jackson Hayes. So the addition of Alex Len, maybe that'll help. I'm not going to hold my breath for that one, though. So we'll see what they do on the road here against a Trailblazers team that was very, very hot there for a bit, but then lost 3 straight to go into the All-Star break on kind of a downer. 23-32 on the year. They currently are, 5 full games back of the Golden State Warriors for a chance to make the play-in. I think that's a pretty big stretch. Although they've shown that they can play well, guys. This is an interesting roster. They really need to be healthy, though. Simons, Kamara, Adjiva, those are all good options. But Scoot being hurt, Jeremy Grant missing time, DeAndre Ayton missing time, all those are very big deals. I do want to see what we're going to get from Donovan Clingan here down the stretch. He's shown some great stuff there, but yeah, we see this team probably not going to be at full strength. Scoot questionable with his ankle, Jeremy Grant questionable also with his knee, and DeAndre Ayton, guys, it sounds like he's going to be out for at least a month there with that calf strain. So not going to be the full strength Blazers at all. They're getting 4.5 points in this game, so I'm going to need to see some injury news for the Lakers before I pull the trigger on anything here. But we've got a total of 226.5. The Lakers are 12-14-1 against spread on the road, 14-13 to the over on the road. Portland 17-11 against spread at home, 16-11-1 to the over at home. So I really think the way you want to go in this one is not the side, guys. You want to take over 226.5 in this game. Looks like a very, very reasonable spot. Both teams showing trends in that direction. Neither team really plays great defense. I think the Lakers might not be at full strength for this game, but they're going to be able to score whether they're at full strength or not, especially against this Blazers team. So give me the over in this one. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit the like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Get over to stumpthespread.com if you want to see our free, probably and definitely our premium picks on the college basketball slate here on Thursday. This will definitely be over there. Thanks for watching. We will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.